Hello everyone. Thank you for joining us today for the 10th lecture of the Progress and Prospects in Biology webinar special webinar series. And thank you for continuously supporting us over these few months. I am Shinjini and I'll be moderating today's session. Our speaker today is Shri Milan Mandal of the West Bengal Forest Service. Before we begin, I would like to remind you that you can post your questions in the YouTube chat box and we will moderate them at the end of the lecture. And the feedback link will be provided in the chat box near the end of the session and will not be sent by email. So without further delay, I would like to request our mentor and the convener of this series, Professor Rena Ray Banerjee of the Department of Zoology, University of Calcutta, to welcome and introduce us to welcome our speaker. Ma'am.
Sorry, I missed that. This is a good sign, Milan. Every time this happens, by some fluke, and a very warm welcome to our viewers. And let me share that every time at the very last moment, there is some connectivity problem. Now, I do not know, but obviously, as Shinjini said, and today we are at the 10th lecture of the Saturday special webinar, and we've just celebrated the 25th milestone of the Sunday webinar series. So obviously we are going well, but I do not know how every time it happens that at the last moment for a few minutes I'm disconnected. So yeah, if there is a good omen, well, this is it. So a very warm welcome and a good evening for the people who have evening wherever they are, because we have viewership from almost all the continents of the globe. A very warm welcome to our viewers and a very special welcome to our speaker tonight. Milan and I have been fortunate to have shared the same postgraduate batch of zoology. And Milan, you will be happy to know that this Progress and Prospects in Biology series is put together predominantly by students of zoology. Although our host tonight is from microbiology, but I'm happy to say that she is pursuing her PhD from our department. So that makes us, all from sort of the same genealogy, if I may say so. So warm welcome to our viewers. And a warm welcome to our speaker tonight. And to set the mood for tonight's talk, Progress and Prospects in Biology aims to bring to you, and we know that amongst our viewers, we have people from biology as well as non-biology backgrounds, and you are all here to probably talk about things that are relevant to all of us. And you know that this is the century of biology. So while in the earlier days, the students of physics and chemistry and mathematics would be more the serious science subjects, and the students of biology would be more the soft subjects. And I'm sure many in our audience would identify with what I'm saying. But today, biology seems to be at the center of all the scientific activities going on around the world. And in Progress, we try to sensitize you about the different research fields that are developing in core bioscience. And in Prospects, we try to bring to you what one can do with a degree in the biosciences. And who better to sensitize you to that than our speaker tonight. And I'm happy to say that we did our postgraduate classes in zoology, and here we are again coming back to talk about things that are relevant to all of us, and that is biodiversity, the biosphere that we all share. And with that, I will not say much. Shinjini, our host tonight, she will be introducing our speaker to you, and you will know how, where he has arrived today. He has probably, and at the end of the lecture, Milan, I'm going to ask you questions from, on all our behalfs, is that from a postgraduate degree in zoology, here he is. He is the Divisional Forest Officer, a WBFS cadre officer, looking after the entire south of Bengal. And I dare say, Sundarban, which is probably controlling not only the microclimate of the Bay of Bengal and of this area, but also of the entire globe. And he is looking at a very, very important, hotspot on the globe tonight. So how his journey has been is also something that we would like to know. But without wasting more time, I would like to hand over to our host who will introduce our speaker tonight. And then we will listen to Milan, your talk, your experiences, and learn from it. So here we go.
Thank you, Anna.
So, Shri Milan Mandal has done his Masters in Zoology from the University of Calcutta and his Masters in Forestry from FRI deemed University, Dehradun. He joined the Forest Service in 1995 and worked in various divisions like Boikunthapur, Baksa Tiger Reserve, Cooch Behar, Jaldapara in North Bengal, and Bishnupur, Kharagpur, and Durgapur in South Bengal. He also has worked as Divisional Manager South under the West Bengal Forest Development Corporation Limited, looking after the ecotourism aspect in the districts of Purulia, Bankura, Paschim Medinipur, and Purba Medinipur. He worked as DFO Law, dealing with the legal aspect of the entire state regarding forest matters. Photography is his passion, and his hobbies are traveling and music. Presently, he is posted as the DFO South Chobbish Parganas, looking after the buffer areas of the Indian Sundarbans. So, without further delay, sir, over to you.
Thank you, Sanjini.
Thanks.
A very good evening and warm welcome to all the viewers from South 24 Parganas Forest Division as well as from the Forest Directorate Government of West Bengal. I welcome you all. The subject in which I will be talking is mangroves, its impact on indigenous people, the society, and the biosphere at large. Slide. First slide. Next.
Sir, this has not come on slideshow yet.
Does not come now. Just see. এটা ছিল না। এটা তো এটাই চলছে। স্লাইড শো করা। এটা but has it come?
No, sir, not yet. So maybe if you click on the slideshow option on the top taskbar
Slideshow.
and play the slideshow from there.
It's not working actually. এটাকে আউট করে দিই যারা করবে ও স্টপ শেয়ারিং করেছে হাইড করেছে
Sir, if you can just press on the full screen button. Do you see a full screen button on the PowerPoint presentation and just proceed regularly with the PowerPoint presentation? That might help.
actually it's not working.
So then we can do one thing. We can share it from our end. I think.
You can share it. That will be better.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. So that's just a second, sir. I'll just share it. Sorry for the delay. Just bear with us for a few minutes. Sir, is it visible?
Yeah, it's visible. You can go to the first slide. Next.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry for the inconvenience. So to start with, I must say that the Sundarbans forest in the coastal region of Bay of Bengal and is considered one of the natural wonders of the world. It is the largest delta in the world and consists of 10,200 square kilometer of mangrove forest, out of which 4263 square kilometer is in India and the rest is in Bangladesh. Sundarban features two ecoregions, the Sundarban freshwater swamp forest and the Sundarban mangroves. So today we will be mainly talking about the Sundarban mangroves. Next slide, please. If we just look about the protected area details of the Sundarban, 9630 square kilometer is the Biosphere Reserve. It was declared Biosphere Reserve in March 1989. Sundarban Tiger Reserve was declared on 23rd of December 1973, and it consists about 2,584 square kilometer, out of which 1699.62 square kilometer is critical tiger habitat, and the Sundarban National Park consists about 1330.12 square kilometer, and there's the one Sojnekhali Wildlife Sanctuary. It's consists of 362.42 square kilometer. So nearly 40% of the reserve forest has been brought under the protected area network. The details I have already shown you, and there are the Sundarban National Park, then Sojnekhali Wildlife Sanctuary, then there is one Lothian Wildlife Sanctuary, which is a very small, consists of 38 square kilometer, and Halliday, the smallest of the wildlife sanctuary in Sundarbans, consisting only of 6 square kilometer. This area was recognized by the UNESCO as World Heritage Site in the year 1987, and recently in the year 2018, I think, it has come under the MAP, Man and Biosphere program of the UNESCO also. Next. To know about mangroves, as we all know, mangroves are the unique salt-tolerant intertidal forest at the edge of land and sea. It consists approximately 70 species under 40 genera. It provides highly productive ecosystem, providing habitat for marine and terrestrial species. The mangroves live in two worlds at once, acting as the interface between land and sea. According to FAO, about one-third of the world's mangroves are found in Asia, followed by Africa, 21%, and North and Central America, 15%. Mangroves grow best in low wave energies. High wave energies destroy the shallow root system of mangroves. Mangroves can be classified into two groups based on morphological and physiological characterization. One is mangroves and other one is mangrove associates. Next. The mangroves are declining, we know, and recently after the super cyclones like Bulbul and Amphan in the consecutive years 2019 and 20, there has been a devastating effect on the mangrove forest of Sundarbans. So I will be now discussing about the major declining factors. You will be, you will find it quite astonishing to note that the greatest declining factor is shrimp aquaculture. It consists of around 38%. Then there is over harvesting of this fuel wood and land clearing for agriculture and coastal development. Then comes tourism, pollution, creation of dams on the rivers, tourism infrastructure, and last but not the least, as I was discussing, the natural calamities like super cyclones. Area of mangrove habitat is destroyed worldwide by different human activities. Shrimp aquaculture is considerable margin, the greatest single cause of mangrove loss. I will just elaborate this point, why it is causing the greatest concern. Because for shrimp aquaculture, what people do is they select an area, then they put a bandh over there. I mean, they restrict the water, the saline water. When the water is restricted in an area, the high tide and low tide cannot flow over there, and mangrove cannot withstand this type of stagnant water. So gradually they dry, then the area is cleared and made this aquaculture pond is created over there. And moreover, the shrimp, the spawn of these shrimps are collected from the mangrove estuarine area through very fine nets, which also causes great damage to the natural regeneration as well as the propagation of the mangroves. So it is considered the most damaging factor of the mangrove declining issue. Next. Now regarding the mangrove diversity of Sundarban, according to Champion and Set classification, the Sundarban forest falls under the subgroup of 4B tidal swamp forest. A total of 245 genera and 334 plant species were recorded by David Prainin in 1903. There are 40 families of mangroves and 60 genera, among which 26 are actual mangrove species and 29 are mangrove associates, and there are 29 other back mangrove species. Some herbs like Ipomia biloba, Sesuvium, hibiscus, Laurenia plays an important role in the prevention of soil erosion, and this helps the mangrove to come in that area. This is the pioneer species, you can say. These Ipomia and these herbs which I mentioned just now. So they forms the soil which is required for the mangroves to come in that area. Major species found in the mangroves are the Heritidia, which we locally call as Sundari, from which the Sundarban name have been derived, it is believed. Then comes the Abyssinia, we call it locally, we call it as Bine. Then Gewa, Exor, Exoiscaria, then the Goran, Seriops, Rhizophora, the Gurjan, and Bruguera or Kankra, and Hetal, this Phoenix, Dudul Xylocarpus, Pasur Xylocarpus, and Nipa, the Golpata. There's another this species which is predominant in the area, this mangrove area, which is also seen along with the natural regeneration and the plantation area also. That is Oraiza Kuarkata or Dhani grass. It comes all over the area. So it is also very essential for development of a mangrove area. Next. Some of the this floral display, some photos. This is Nipa fructans, Brugueria or Kankra, Heritaria, Xylocarpus, Acanthus, and Phoenix. The Hetal, we tell it Hetal, and the famous Royal Bengal tiger. It is the Hetal is the most liked species of the Royal Bengal tiger. They hide behind these Hetal plants. Next, please. Some more. This is Ipomia biloba, which I was saying about the soil binding sesuvium. Then hibiscus. These are all soil binders and the herbs. Next. Now, if we see the root system of the mangroves, we all know they have pneumatophores and this which we call the prop roots. So this is very interesting. If you see in the Abyssinia species, the root system is something different. It's spread all over, and in Rhizophora, it is something else. And this is Heritaria, the third slide, and the last one is Bruguiera or Kankra. So these are the various root systems of mangroves we can see in these Sundarbans. Next. I was speaking about the floral compositions. Now the faunal composition of the mangrove area and Sundarban is also very rich. To mention, the flagship species of Sundarbans or the mangrove area is the Royal Bengal tiger. It is the only mangrove habitat of the tiger in the entire world. Besides that, there are 177 mollusk species, 364 fish species, 47 mammal species, 114 insect species, 234 bird species, and 71 reptile species. Now, when I am saying about reptile species, there are some interesting fact. The Lothian Island, which I was discussing earlier, it is the den of the reptiles and snakes. All these snakes, there are among the 71 species, you can find all the species over there, excepting some these sea snakes, which are available at Halliday and other islands. So Lothian Island is the main this reptile habitat of the Sundarbans, and elsewhere also in the villages, other areas also these reptiles are seen, but they are very few. Around 10 to 14 species are commonly seen in other areas. Rest of the species are all seen in this Lothian and in and around areas. Now, uh, it is hard to believe, but it is a fact that rhinoceros or the Javan rhinoceros once used to roam in these areas, which has become extinct from Sundarban. The water buffalo used to reside over here, swamp deer, hog deer, and marsh crocodile, which is no longer found in Sundarbans and has become extinct from this Sundarban mangrove forest. So it is our duty, all of our duty as a citizen of India, as a citizen, as a concerned citizen, to protect and conserve whatever we have, so that the same fate doesn't await the other species. Next. The Sundarban harbors many rare and endangered animals also, like the estuarine crocodile, the water-monitored lizard, the globally endangered Batagur terrapin or the Batagur baska. There's one the center in Sundarban Tiger Reserve, I think in Sojinekali, Batagur baska. And sea turtles like olive ridley, it also comes here. The green sea turtle, hawksbill turtle, fishing cat. Fishing cat is the state animal of West Bengal also. And smooth coated otters. Recently, the sighting have increased. Previously, there were only few reports of the smooth coated otters, but recently many tourists who visited Sundarban, they have also recorded and they have taken photographs and shared it in Facebook and other social medias, where the smooth coated otters have been found in various other areas of Sundarbans also, where it was not reported earlier. Then the Gangetic dolphin and the Irrawaddy dolphin, which is the Gangetic dolphin is the national aquatic animal also. And very recently, on 30th of this November, a tourist group, they visited Sundarban. They were staying at Boni camp, and they were going towards Kalosh camp. When they were going at around 11, in between 11 to 12 in the morning hours, they sighted a very rare thing, and it has been shared and it has been recorded and documented. It's the Indo-Pacific pink humpback dolphin, which is very rare, and it was recorded. There are 5 to 6 of them, and it was nicely photographed by some tourists and also recorded. So these species can also be seen, and we have records of the same species humpback from Namkhana and this Jammu Deep area also. And recently it was sighted in and near this Boni Camp also in Rayadigi range. In addition to the above, there have been recorded 20 identified species of prawns and 44 species of crabs, including 2 edible ones. Sundarban is a very unique place where you find many type of crabs and these prawns, and uh, there are in India and other areas the kingfishers. Almost all the kingfishers except the oriental dwarf kingfisher, all other kingfishers are found in Sundarbans. Next. These are some photographs of some faunal diversity. The first one is the great Royal Bengal tiger. Then this is intermediate egret. Then it is a white throated kingfisher. Next is black capped kingfisher. Then there is the common kingfisher. Then white kingfisher. Then there is brown kingfisher, and there is uh, fishing cat, jungle cat, water monitor lizard, the spotted deer, and the saltwater crocodile. Next. Now coming to till now, I was talking about the biodiversity aspect and how Sundarban is playing a part in the biodiversity aspect. Now I will tell something about the livelihood support which the mangroves forests are providing to the indigenous people who live in and around Sundarbans. Mangrove forests are among one of the most productive and biologically important ecosystems of the world because they provide livelihood support to the indigenous people. Some of the support activities are: it is the nursery ground of fish, shrimp, crabs, etc. And most of the people who live in and around Sundarban, their profession is fishing. Then mangrove prop roots and pneumatophores are hiding places for fish. So these are the paradise for the fishermen who come to these areas and easily can collect fish from those areas. Aquaculture and commercial fisheries are dependent on seed sourced from mangrove estuaries. Leaf litter and detritus matter of mangroves are sources of food for fish and other aquatic animals. And majority of the people living in or near mangrove forest derive their principal income from fishing and related activities. Harvest and sale of mangrove products is an important income for the rural mass over there. Mangrove products constitute an emergency food provision function and constitute an important source of protein, mainly the fish and some of the fruits of these mangrove. They are also edible, and they are also taken by these local inhabitants. There is another aspect. I think it is mentioned in the next. Oh, okay, next, the apiculture. Then it is the source of wood, timber, and firewood for the rural mass. A source of food, honey, fodder for local communities. A place for recreational activities such as bird and wildlife watching. This area attracts many tourists, and tourism is another activity from which the local villagers, they are also benefited. A place of ecotourism and thus economic benefits for local communities. Local people depends on mangrove natural resource for their living. Replantation can reduce poverty and generate income for local communities. New metaphors are usually used by local fishermen for stopper and float making. The mollusk shell also found in these regions collected from the mangroves and used for lime production. Local people used some selective mangrove species for this medicinal purpose also. Mangrove traps sediments and nutrients, thus prevent coastal and ocean pollution. Mangrove plants and soil sediments are carbon sinks, carbon sequestration. Mangrove forests prevent or reduce risk of disasters such as cyclones, storms, surge, and flood. What I have started with this bulbul and amphan. So we have seen that if the mangrove forest of Sundarban doesn't exist, then the city of Kolkata, the existence itself would be a big question, whether it will remain or not. The mangroves are just working as a shield and protecting the city, not only the city and many other places. They are controlling the speed of these cyclones and saving the city and the citizens from the devastating this action of these super cyclones. Moreover, when I was talking about this activities, some like collection of honey. In the recent past, there had been many incidents where man-animal conflicts used to happen because the villagers they used to go inside the forest for collection of the natural honey, and many people became prey of the Royal Bengal tiger. The number exceeded more than 20, 30 every year. So to reduce that, initiative was taken from the forest department by making some cooperatives and giving them some apiary boxes and make artificial honey, by staying in their village and not going to the forest. This year, you will be happy to know that this year we could produce. There are 4 cooperative societies who could produce 39 quintal of honey, and this honey was being marketed through the Bisho Bangla stall and through Amazon also. And recently, after the CSE report of existence of the sugar in all the almost all the branded honey, in one single day, this Sundarban honey we branded as in the name of Boneful. This Boneful received order of more than 1,000 order from Amazon in one single day, and we hope that this demand increases and we can make more cooperatives and involve more people and restrict more people from entering the forest and make them self-sufficient. This works simultaneously as a conservation effort also. It helps in conserving our forest, arresting the man-animal conflict, as well as making them self-sufficient or social, socio-economic development of the community of the village itself altogether. Next, please. This is the details of the uh, cooperatives which I was discussing. So this is the details where we have made those. There are 66 beneficiaries and who are now just bottling and making labeling day and night to keep to cope with the order from the Amazon and all these things. They just called me a few minutes back and they were saying me. So this always gives encourages us to do some more this type of works for the people. Next. This is the after the branding, and this is how the boxes are placed in their local areas. And this is the Bonful honey. The same picture you will find in Amazon app also, and you can order from there. This is the pure honey obtained from the Sundarban, and Next. Now something about the carbon sequestration. Carbon sequestration also provides associated ecosystem benefits such as increased soil water holding capacity, better soil structure, improved soil quality and nutrient cycling, and reduced soil erosion. Mangroves helps in climate change mitigation via reduction of carbon from the atmosphere at an impressive state. It is interesting to mention here that though mangroves make up only 0.7% of the world's forest, however, they have the potential to store about 2.5 times as much CO2 as humans produce globally each year. Therefore, protecting mangroves could provide climate benefits and help in mitigation of carbon pollution. It has been proved that per hectare mangrove forests store up to 4 times more carbon than most other tropical forests around the world. In Indo-Pacific mangroves compared to approximately 250 of the tropical forest. Against 250 from the tropical forest, it can arrest more than 1000 this carbon. Next, please. And now there is another role of the mangrove forest also in disaster mitigation or minimization. Less damage in those regions with mangroves compared to those without mangroves. Reduce the devastating impact of Ayla, Bulbul, Amphan. I have already discussed this. It acts as a natural sea defense during disasters. Wherever the mangroves had been regenerated, the damage due to natural disaster was minimal. It plays a very important role for coastal protection against various coastal disasters, mitigates coastal storms and saves fishermen's hamlet. A mangrove ecosystem reduces the energy and velocity of cyclone waves and help in reducing their impact. And property loss were less where mangroves were present. In the recent report of the Amphan, we have seen that the village where there was less mangrove, the devastation was more. It was almost wiped away from the map, and where there were mangroves, the area was very lessly damaged. Next. It did less damage to lives and property in the fringe areas, which shielded dense mangroves compared to areas where mangroves had been cleared or were absent. Coastal vegetation saved lives of fishermen who took shelter during Ayla, Bulbul, and Amphan. Villages located behind dense mangrove stand suffered less destruction. Forested areas protected as villages from super cyclones damage by reducing the energy of waves. Next. These are some photos of the effect of Amphan. You can see the entire mangrove area have been uprooted. This is the bottom one is of the Kolosh area, and the upper part is from Bokhali. And there is the very near to Kolkata. CKBS is very near to Kolkata. It's in Narendrapur, Chintamonikar Bird Sanctuary. It was also badly damaged. Many of our buildings, many trees that was uprooted, and many properties got severely damaged. Next. Now the management constraints to conserve the mangroves. The main this thing is proximity to Kolkata, which is a major center of smuggling of wildlife particles to Nepal, China, and Southeast Asian countries. So this is one big problem we have to deal with. Then there is mushrooming of large number of tourist boats, tourist lodges, and increase in number of tourists. Presence of an international streamer route within the reserve, through which regular these steamers and big ships ply from Bangladesh to India regularly. A number of this thing. And it is porous international border with Bangladesh, makes the area vulnerable to timber and honey smugglers and poachers. Then there is increased cattle smuggling to Bangladesh using the forest area, which also damages the forests. And there is human-animal conflict also. The tiger sometimes plays out in the village to kill the livestock, and then the conflict begins, and where the role of us uh, begins. Recently, there was a strange incident in Moipit area, and fortunately, we could address that problem. The tiger could be trapped in the cage, and it was treated, and it was safely released in the wild. The entire operation was completed within 30 hours. So we could do it with the help of all. Uh, Next. Then there are other factors also, like upstream river pollution, global warming and rise in sea levels, cyclones, which I have discussed, soil erosion, extremely poor fringe population, difficult terrain and poor infrastructure, over exploitation of natural resources. So these are some of the management constraints we are facing, and we are trying to mitigate them through various ways and means. Next. Mangroves play an important role in livelihoods, carbon sinks, in the protection of the coast from the natural disasters and saving lives and property from tsunamis, floods, and cyclones. However, mangrove forests are under immense pressure from clear cutting, land use change, hydrological alterations, shrimp aquaculture, chemical spill, climate change, and sea level rise. Therefore, every effort should be taken to conserve and restore mangrove ecosystem, including awareness and education program to prevent deforestation and forest degradation. Now, last but not the least, what I would like to share with you is after the devastating effect of Amphan, the state government decided to plant 5 crore mangrove species in and around Sundarban. That is around 2,500 hectare, out of which 2,000 hectare plantation was taken up by South 24 Parganas division, that is my division, and 500 hectare was taken by STR, Sundarban Tiger Reserve. So we could successfully complete planting of 5 crore mangrove species, and covering 2,500 hectare area. And the deadline or the target date was calendar was within December, but we could finish it well in advance. And the presently the infilling works are just going on in the field, so we could do some good to the area and contribute some of our part for restoration of the mangrove and recreation or rejuvenation of the mangroves of the Sundarbans. Thank you. Now, if you have any questions, I am here. I could answer them.
Thank you so much, sir, for this very interesting talk about our very own Sundarbans. So there is one question from the audience. Subhash Kanti Roy wants to know what measures has been taken by the government for in vivo and in vitro conservation of mangrove vegetation of the Sundarban areas.
As I just now mentioned, 2,500 hectares have been taken up this year, in 2020-21, and it has been completed. Moreover, the existing forests also, through our patrolling and help of the joint forest management committees, we are conserving that forest also, and we are recreating this new areas also, and it includes both forest and non-forest area. This 2,500 hectare, around 70% area covered was in non-forest area and 30% area was in forest.
Another question is from Prabhat Kumar Swine, wants to know what is the current potential of mangrove forest in India?
current potential of mangrove forest. I think I have already discussed. There is, I mean, importance of this mangrove. Without mangrove, I think I have already addressed this question in my lecture
Okay.
when I was discussing about the importance of mangroves.
Uh, so if you have missed the lecture, you can check it out in our archived video on YouTube later on. And sir, there was another question that's not from the audience. So like you said, like from your, you have seen a lot of human-animal conflict in the Sundarbans. How can it be, I don't know, prevented or like maybe reduced to some extent? Is there any way that that can be done?
Yeah, the first and foremost thing is awareness, and previously we could reduce these incidents. Previously, there were we tried many things techniques like using the mask behind the head when the fishermen went to the area. Then there were some other techniques also. But recently, the introduction of the nylon net fencing, which gives a psychological barrier to the tiger. This nylon net fencing has worked fantastically, and it has reduced the man-animal conflict to a great extent. Tiger, whenever it sees the nylon net fencing, it uh, it uh, it works as the psychological barrier to him. It goes back whenever it finds netting over there. So we have almost covered the entire forest, and we do regular this patrolling of the nets, and we repair wherever it is damaged. Mostly it is damaged by the fishermen only. So this where awareness comes into picture. The fishermen they try to enter the canals and they just cut the nets and move their boat from the through these nets, and from those areas, those damaged net areas, the tiger they strays out. The last incident which
Okay.
I was discussing was also same. So first and foremost thing is awareness generation, and then there are other mitigative measures which we are taking, like nylon net fencing, these things,
Okay.
regular.
Okay. Some more questions have started to come in again now. Subhash Kanti he has another question. Is there any plant tissue culture approach that has been taken for propagation of the mangrove plants?
Not yet, not in my knowledge in West Bengal. I don't know about other states, but in West Bengal, I don't have any such knowledge about any such activities or initiatives being taken. And it is a very good this thing idea. Uh, we, we must take it, and I think in days to come, we will obviously try.
Mhm. Shonchari Gorai wants to know, can Bonoful the honey be got offline also instead of Amazon?
Yeah, yeah, it is available from my office also, from Bisho Bangla stall also, and we are also trying to just market it through Big Bazaar and all this, but not yet finalized. But you will get it in Bisho Bangla stall and in our forest offices, forest outlets also.
Okay. And I think this is the last question from Prabhat Kumar Swain again. What are any new policies and legislation to preserve the mangrove forest in India, since it's a global issue as seen in some UN initiatives?
Yeah, recently in the month of January, there is a one steering committee meeting, and the committee is being headed by the chief minister, and the chief secretary on her behalf is a member over there, where the policies and these things are being taken. So maybe in a month, in a couple of months, you will come to know what are the initiatives being taken in our state. It is overdue due to this COVID situation, due to this pandemic, and it is supposed to be organized in the first week of January.
Okay, so that is the end of the, that's all that we have, the question. So we've come to the end of today's lecture. So, and now I'd like to request our convener, Professor Renare Banerjee, to give the vote of thanks and close the session.
Thank you, Shri. And such an excellent presentation, Milan. I have a few questions. So the first, as I said at the beginning of your talk, why don't you share your journey with our audience? There are many, budding zoologists, UGPG students, scholars, and young investigators also. So why don't you share a bit of your journey from those NSC days till you're an officer and enforcing law. So it is not every day that we get to talk to a zoologist who handles real life issues. So why don't you share some of your journey?
Yeah, thank you, Anna, for giving me this opportunity. After the Valiant Science College days, we were 93 batch. Then in the year 1995, I appeared in this thing, West Bengal Forest Service. I gave 2, 3 other exams also. There was one RBI PO or something in which I couldn't qualify. I could qualify in 2 exams in miscellaneous service and this West Bengal Forest Service. So I had no idea about Forest Service at that time. My father was a businessman. My mother was a working lady. She was working in Food Corporation of India. So I had no idea about this Forest Service. But somehow I felt miscellaneous. It must be better than miscellaneous service, and it is something adventurous because I used to read a lot of Buddhadev Guha and this Jim Corbett omnibus and all these things. So forest, some bit of forest, and we were used to went to this Bethla and all these places during our excursions. So it attracted me, and I joined the forest service. Straight away I went to Dehradun. For two years there was in service training, and we used to pass in 32 subjects. We used to pass in all the 32 subjects, and it includes everything. I mean, it teaches you from sweeping the bathroom to assembling of the AK-47. In that test, in this within 10 minutes, we are given 10 minutes time, and all the particles of the AK-47 was scattered in the table. We have to assemble and make it AK-47 and hit it in the target within 10 minutes. So, so these were some of the these things, and then after coming from the training, I was posted in North Bengal. I worked over there for more than 8.5 years, mostly in the wildlife areas only. So from my starting days, I was dealing with wildlife, and now also I am dealing with from in North Bengal. I used to deal with leopards and elephants. Now I am dealing with Royal Bengal tiger in South Bengal. So after that, it has been 25 long years. I have been working in this profession, and I can tell you one thing: it is such a profession. It's unlike other services. There is no monotony. You don't know. I don't know while I am talking to you. There are many phone coming. I don't know if tiger have stayed in some other area. I have to just rush to that place. I don't know when I will come back to my home or where I will stay the night. So it is adventurous. You don't know what you will do tomorrow on this thing. So this is something which suited me. I liked it. I like this adventures and this thing. Uh, and there's scope. You have your own creativity, and this thing, if you have it in you, you have the scope. In other services, I think, where you don't get that much scope, here you get that scope. And this is a very good service. I would encourage the budding zoologists over there to appear in the this exam and come. And I must also tell, there are many lady officers recently coming joining in forest service. Previously it was just thought about it is very hardy job, and this thing only male will join this service. But these days and I must accept, or rather appreciate, there are many lady officers who are working far better than their counterparts, male counterparts. They are doing wonders. They are conducting raids. They are tackling issues very nicely. So I welcome all you. You will find it a very good service.
Yes, I remember that sometimes the elephants will stray into the cornfields. And for the audience, let me share that our MSc compatriots, we have a WhatsApp group, and we all share our, and we all are in our early 50s. And like when we were students, we talk about our olden days and we talk about our current situation. And our speaker tonight has the most interesting tales to tell, because while we are going to the lab, and the most exciting thing to happen is, some experiment giving up some result. However, with Shri Mondal, he actually has elephants who have strayed into the cornfield and he has to go and manage that. Or some exotic animals are being, smuggled and he has to go and rescue that. Or suddenly, because we DNA barcoded the tarantula, and I remember that he brought that tarantula to my lab. And so
Yeah.
he has to deal with such situations which probably one has to learn on the job. So, and besides this, I would also like to ask you that, when we are studying zoology, we aren't given the kind of training that you just mentioned, that you have to, probably learn as you go and learn to deal with different kinds of emergencies. And of course, the training that you're given at the beginning of joining your job. And you also mentioned about the different prospects of entering into the administrative services. But is there a message that you'd like to give to the students of zoology? Because I'm sure that when you study the subject at the undergraduate and the postgraduate level, it sort of gets under your skin. And I know you are a fantastic informal ornithologist. You can identify birds like anything. Which was, if it was part of the MSc syllabus, we would have probably said, okay, it's not in the suggestion and we are not going to, read over that. But as you go into the field, and for people who don't know, Sri Mondal is also a fantastic photographer. So, the passion and the, vagaries of the job, these both have combined into training that is probably of the first class order. So, go back to those student days and give a message for the students that, some things that we learn as a boring, for exam and what to learn can actually come in handy when you're dealing with real situations.
Yeah, what I also tell to my son also, do what your conscience allows you. Don't do what you are bound to do. Don't do what you don't like. You don't like to do the maths, don't do it. You like music, go with music. So do what your conscience allows and live and let live. Live peacefully and let others live also. So this is the message I want to give.
Very nice. And I would also like to mention that how you guys work now in the COVID situation, there are not many picnics and everything happening. But every winter, when you are posted in Durgapur, I remember that how you guys actually went on the field,
In picnic.
prevented people from playing the boombox. Why don't you share some of that?
Yeah. Actually, in Durgapur, we started along with some this college guys. They are from Durgapur Government College. I some There were some enterprising students over there. Basically, we got acquainted while I went for birding. So I found them; they were also interested in birding. Then a group was formed, informal group was formed, and we decided ki we will implement one scheme called this Green Picnic Mission, in which it will be green picnic everywhere, no plastic and no DJ box and this miking. Because most of the picnic spots are in and around the river Damodar. So very winter migrant birds, they were getting disturbed. They stopped coming over there. The number was reduced to a great extent. Then we started in the first year, around 8 to 12 people just joined, and in one single area we could do it in Durgapur barrage area. Then in the second year, the number exceeded. We contacted other institutions also, or other schools and colleges. They also rendered their volunteers, so we could cover Durgapur subdivision. And third year, after seeing the success of the second year, third year the district administration also came forward. So it was like previously it was only the some informal group of students, and I was just supporting them. It became an official program. The DM was interested, district magistrate, the SDO got involved, the police got involved, all other the irrigation department. So everybody got involved, and we could implement it in the entire district. Nowhere, if you go now, this year also in Paschim Bardhaman district, nowhere you will find a DJ box or a mic, and no plastic are being used. It is strictly maintained. So this was which we started. It just spread like anything, and thanks to the other departments and district administration also for supporting us, we could do it.
Wonderful. So you used to go around and exchange those thermocol plates
Yeah.
with the organic vishal leaf.
So,
Uh,
yeah.
so you see, you have to sort of also go beyond the call of duty and follow your passion to do your job well. So our best wishes to you. Continue doing the job as well as you are and more. Thank you for giving us your time, answering questions, and inspiring us. Most importantly. So with that, we end tonight's session, and with a huge round of applause for the fantastic work that he's doing. And it's not easy. He's not always sitting in the office, right, Milan? He's actually going out into the fields, and sometimes it is extremely, dangerous, life-threatening situations. Especially for the tiger that they released, he did not tell you. I had requested if he could share a video of that, but it was a big story. All the newspapers had broken it, but this is the officer who had sort of led it from the front. So best wishes for your work, and thank you for sharing time with us tonight.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you, ma'am, and thank you, sir, once again, for giving this wonderful lecture. And thank you, everyone, for joining. Join us tomorrow for a regular lecture by Dr. Vaishnavi Ananthanarayanan of the University of New South Wales, Australia. Please note that tomorrow's lecture will start at 3 p.m. IST instead of our usual 7 p.m. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Our previous talks are all archived in our YouTube channel, so you can check them out there later. And thank you again for joining us. Take care and see you again tomorrow.